Lubuntu Linux is one of those operating systems that quietly does exactly what it promises without trying to impress you with flashy effects or heavy visual polish. And that is precisely why so many users around the world continue to choose it. At its core, Lubuntu Linux is a lightweight, fast, and efficient Linux distribution designed to run smoothly on older hardware, low-end systems, and modern machines alike, offering a clean desktop experience that prioritizes speed, stability, and usability. Built as an official flavor of Ubuntu, Lubuntu Linux inherits the reliability, security, and massive software ecosystem of Ubuntu, while using a lightweight desktop environment to keep system resource usage extremely low. To understand Lubuntu Linux properly, it helps to first understand what Ubuntu Linux is. Ubuntu Linux is one of the most popular Linux distributions in the world, developed and maintained by Canonical. It is known for its ease of use, large community, frequent updates, and extensive software repositories. Lubuntu Linux takes the Ubuntu base and pairs it with a lightweight desktop environment called LXQt. In earlier years, Lubuntu Linux used the LXDE desktop environment, but the project transitioned to LXQt to provide better performance, modern features, and ongoing development support. This combination results in an operating system that feels responsive even on computers with limited RAM and older processors. One of the biggest reasons people choose Lubuntu Linux is its low system requirements. While many modern operating systems expect powerful CPUs, large amounts of RAM, and fast storage, Lubuntu Linux is designed to be comfortable on machines with as little as 2 GB of RAM, and it can even run on systems with 1 GB in certain situations. This makes Lubuntu Linux an excellent choice for breathing new life into old laptops, refurbished desktops, or budget computers. Instead of throwing away older hardware, users can install Lubuntu Linux and gain a fully functional modern operating system that is secure and capable. When you first boot into Lubuntu Linux, you are greeted by a simple and uncluttered desktop. The LXQt desktop environment focuses on practicality rather than visual extravagance. You typically see a taskbar at the bottom of the screen, a menu button in the corner, a system tray with icons for network, sound, and battery, and a clean wallpaper. Everything is laid out in a way that feels familiar, especially to users who have experience with Windows-style interfaces. This familiarity reduces the learning curve and makes Lubuntu Linux approachable for beginners. The application menu in Lubuntu Linux is straightforward and well organized. You can browse through categories such as Internet, Office, Multimedia, System Tools, and Settings. There is also a search function that allows you to quickly find applications by typing their name. This simple menu design contributes to the overall speed and responsiveness of Lubuntu Linux, as it avoids heavy animations or complex graphical elements. Lubuntu Linux comes with a carefully selected set of pre-installed applications that cover most everyday tasks without overwhelming the user. For web browsing, Lubuntu Linux usually includes Firefox, which is a popular open-source web browser known for privacy features and extensive extension support. For office work, Lubuntu Linux provides LibreOffice, a powerful open-source office suite that includes Writer for word processing, Calc for spreadsheets, Impress for presentations, and additional tools for databases and drawing. For email, a client like Thunderbird may be included depending on the release. For file management, Lubuntu Linux uses PCM-ANFMQT, a lightweight and fast file manager that supports tabs, bookmarks, and network browsing. Multimedia support in Lubuntu Linux is also quite solid. You can play music and videos using media players such as VLC Media Player or other lightweight alternatives. Lubuntu Linux supports common audio and video formats, and additional codecs can be installed easily if needed. For image viewing and basic editing, simple tools are included, and more advanced applications like GIMP can be installed from the repositories. One of the strengths of Lubuntu Linux is its access to the vast Ubuntu software repositories. This means that thousands of free and open-source applications are just a few clicks away. Users can install software using graphical package managers or through the terminal using apt commands. Whether you need programming tools, graphic design software, scientific applications, or games, chances are high that you can find them easily for Lubuntu Linux. The terminal in Lubuntu Linux is lightweight but fully capable. While beginners may not use it often, many Linux users appreciate the power and flexibility of the command line. Lubuntu Linux supports all standard Ubuntu terminal commands, making it easy to follow tutorials written for Ubuntu Linux. This compatibility is a huge advantage, as most online guides, forums, and documentation for Ubuntu Linux also apply directly to Lubuntu Linux. Customization is another area where Lubuntu Linux shines. Even though it is lightweight, the LXQt desktop environment allows users to change themes, icons, fonts, window behavior, and panel layout. You can make Lubuntu Linux look modern and sleek or classic and minimal, depending on your preferences. This level of customization lets users create a personalized desktop experience without sacrificing performance. Security is an essential aspect of any operating system, and Lubuntu Linux benefits from Ubuntu's strong security practices. Regular security updates are provided, and the system includes built-in firewall tools that can be configured easily. Linux, in general, is less targeted by malware compared to some other operating systems, and Lubuntu Linux follows the same security model that helps protect users from many common threats. Software is installed from trusted repositories, reducing the risk of malicious applications. Lubuntu Linux follows Ubuntu's release cycle, which includes regular releases every 6 months and long-term support releases every 2 years. Long-term support, often referred to as LTS, provides updates and security patches for several years, making it a great choice for users who want stability and minimal system changes. Installing a Lubuntu Linux LTS version means you can use the same system for a long time without needing to upgrade frequently. For people coming from other operating systems, especially Windows, Lubuntu Linux can feel refreshingly fast and simple. Older Windows systems that struggle to run modern versions of Windows often perform extremely well with Lubuntu Linux. Tasks such as browsing the web, writing documents, watching videos, and managing files feel snappy and responsive. It is also worth comparing Lubuntu Linux with other lightweight Linux distributions to understand where it fits in the broader Linux ecosystem. Xubuntu Linux is another Ubuntu-based distribution that uses the XFCE desktop environment. Xubuntu Linux is slightly heavier than Lubuntu Linux but still considered lightweight, and it offers a bit more visual polish and features. Linux Mint XFCE Edition is also a popular lightweight option, providing a user-friendly experience with the XFCE desktop. Linux Lite is another distribution aimed at beginners and low-end hardware. Based on Ubuntu and using XFCE, Puppy Linux is extremely lightweight and can run on very old machines, but it has a different workflow and may feel less familiar to newcomers. Compared to these, Lubuntu Linux strikes a balance between minimal resource usage and a traditional desktop experience that feels modern and familiar. Another area where Lubuntu Linux excels is its installation process. The installer is simple, clear, and guided, making it easy for even first-time Linux users to install the system. You can choose to install Lubuntu Linux alongside an existing operating system, replace the existing system entirely, or perform a custom installation. The installer handles disk partitioning, user account creation, time zone selection, and keyboard layout configuration. Once installed, Lubuntu Linux boots quickly, even on older hardware. The startup process is optimized to load only essential services, contributing to its fast performance. Shutdown and restart times are also typically short. Lubuntu Linux is not just for old computers. Many users choose it for modern systems because they prefer a fast, distraction-free environment. Developers, writers, students, and office workers often appreciate the simplicity and speed of Lubuntu Linux. Without heavy background processes and animations, system resources are available for applications that matter. Gaming on Lubuntu Linux is also possible, though it depends on the hardware and the types of games you want to play. Steam is available for Lubuntu Linux, allowing access to thousands of Linux-compatible games. Lightweight indie games and classic titles run well, and with modern hardware, even more demanding games can be played. However, if gaming is your primary focus and you want the best out-of-the-box gaming experience, distributions like Pop!_OS Linux or Ubuntu Linux itself may offer better driver support and optimizations. Still, Lubuntu Linux can serve as a capable gaming platform, especially for casual and retro gaming. One important thing to understand about Lubuntu Linux is that it's lightweight. Nature sometimes means fewer pre-installed features compared to heavier distributions. This is intentional. Instead of including many applications by default, Lubuntu Linux gives users a clean base and lets them install what they need. This approach keeps the system lean and efficient. For productivity, Lubuntu Linux works well with common file formats and supports printing, scanning, and networking. You can connect to Wi-Fi networks, pair Bluetooth devices, and access shared folders on local networks. Office documents created in Microsoft Word, Excel, or PowerPoint can be opened and edited using LibreOffice, and files can be saved in compatible formats. Lubuntu Linux also supports multiple languages and keyboard layouts, making it suitable for users around the world. Accessibility features are available as well, such as screen readers and on-screen keyboards. Though users with advanced accessibility needs may prefer distributions that focus more heavily on accessibility, such as Ubuntu Linux with the GNOME desktop. Another advantage of Lubuntu Linux is its community. As an official Ubuntu flavor, Lubuntu Linux benefits from both its own community and the larger Ubuntu community. Users can find help through forums, documentation, and tutorials. Many questions about Lubuntu Linux can be answered using Ubuntu Linux resources, which greatly expands the available support. Updating Lubuntu Linux is simple. The system notifies users when updates are available, and they can be installed with a few clicks or via the terminal. Updates include security patches, bug fixes, and sometimes new versions of applications. This ensures that Lubuntu Linux remains stable and secure over time. For users interested in learning more about Linux, Lubuntu Linux provides a great starting point. It allows you to explore the Linux ecosystem, understand how packages are managed, learn basic terminal commands, and experiment with customization. At the same time, it does not overwhelm beginners with unnecessary complexity. Power management is another strong point of Lubuntu Linux. On laptops, Lubuntu Linux often provides better battery life compared to heavier operating systems because it uses fewer resources. This makes it a good choice for older laptops with aging batteries or for users who need longer battery life. Developers can use Lubuntu Linux as a lightweight development environment. Programming languages such as Python, C++, Java, and JavaScript are easily available. Text editors and integrated development environments like VS Code, Atom, and Vim can be installed. Because Lubuntu Linux is based on Ubuntu Linux, it supports Docker, virtual machines, and other development tools commonly used in professional environments. Educational institutions and organizations often use Lubuntu Linux to repurpose old computers for classrooms, libraries, and training centers. By installing Lubuntu Linux, they can provide functional computers without the cost of new hardware or software licenses. One thing to keep in mind is that Lubuntu Linux may not include some graphical tools by default that users expect. For example, advanced disk management or system monitoring tools might need to be installed separately. However, these tools are easily available, and once installed, they integrate well with the system. Lubuntu Linux is also a good choice for single-board computers and low-power devices, depending on hardware compatibility. Its low resource usage makes it suitable for lightweight servers, kiosks, or embedded systems. In terms of aesthetics, Lubuntu Linux may appear simple compared to distributions like Ubuntu Linux with GNOME, Kdenlion Linux with KDE Plasma, or Zorin OS Linux with its polished interface. However, many users appreciate this simplicity as it reduces distractions and focuses on functionality. The philosophy behind Lubuntu Linux aligns with the broader Linux and open source movement. It emphasizes freedom, community collaboration, and transparency. Users are free to use, modify, and share the software. This openness encourages innovation and ensures that Lubuntu Linux continues to evolve. When considering whether Lubuntu Linux is right for you, it helps to think about your priorities. If you want a fast, lightweight, and stable operating system that runs well on almost any hardware and provides access to a huge software ecosystem, Lubuntu Linux is an excellent choice. If you prefer a visually rich desktop with many built-in features and effects, you might consider Ubuntu Linux, Kubuntu Linux, or Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition instead. For many people, Lubuntu Linux becomes a daily driver operating system. It handles everyday tasks reliably, stays out of the way, and rarely causes problems. This reliability builds trust over time, which is one of the most valuable qualities an operating system can have. As technology continues to evolve, Lubuntu Linux remains relevant by staying true to its mission of being lightweight and efficient. Developers continuously refine the LXQt desktop environment, improve hardware support, and enhance stability. This ongoing development ensures that Lubuntu Linux remains a strong option for years to come. In summary, Lubuntu Linux is a powerful example of how simplicity and efficiency can create an outstanding user experience. It proves that you do not need cutting-edge hardware or heavy software to have a capable, secure, and enjoyable operating system. Whether you are reviving an old computer looking for a fast daily system, or exploring Linux for the first time, Lubuntu Linux offers a practical and dependable solution that deserves serious consideration.